Hi everyone, how is everyone doing on this Monday night? Monday, July 10th. Well, there you go. It's already July 10th. And means half of the year is gone. Huh? Did you achieve whatever you wanted to achieve this year so far? Half of those on your list? Huh? Well, I didn't have any list. Sorry. Because remember those resolutions, the New Year resolutions? They don't really work for me. I mean, maybe they do work for you guys, but not for me, apparently. So I just, go by the life, right? Well, I was kind of depressed this morning, and one of these Mondays, you know, it was one of those Mondays where I just shut myself out from the world, shut myself off from the world, and then I was thinking of my wife and obviously work and people were calling me and I just I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna sit in in my bedroom and just whatever. It's out of my living room, right? But then I was thinking about her and then the day before I kind of yelled and she and I were on the phone and then the freaking connection was so bad I couldn't hear her. And I was trying to buy the ticket for her to go for the flight to go from the mountains to Islamabad, and then the stupid website wasn't working. It wasn't taking my payment, and just like, oh my God. But then I said sorry to her. I love her. So yeah, one of those freaking days, man. You know, but I had my egg whites, and then I also made some coffee here, and and then I think I'm gonna have a little bit of like more food after the podcast. And then I was talking to her, and a friend of mine also called. We briefly talked, and then I worked for like a few hours after that, at least a couple of hours. Um, I don't know. Maybe it's just a remnant of my childhood depression that was never resolved, whatever the hell it is, right? Or just the stress of whatever life, maybe whatever you call it. Maybe I'm exaggerating because I just get into this like victimhood sort of like mode, right? That the world has just treated me like a whatever, right? Piece of whatever, right? This like skinny guy, and then the whole body image thing from the beginning, right? Because I was skinny and people were just making kind of like fun of me, right? By being skinny. I always, it was just the whole thing was, oh, you should eat, 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 eat. And then, I'm like, dude, my body can't handle, all right? And people won't understand that and they would think that I wasn't eating. Yeah, I guess because I was just like freaking sort of, addicted to, tea, milk tea, chai, and then the traditional, the bread, that's what I was having, like even for sometimes for dinner because I just didn't like, like those vegetarian dishes or whatever, right? But then, when you grow up, right? When you grow older, then you realize, oh man, what? These vegetarian dishes are not bad. It isn't bad. So, and then, I guess that's kind of normal, right? But then I just got hooked onto that tea and that kind of like messed up my freaking stomach for, drinking it year over years and years and years, right? Which finally I stopped, I think, in the second year of my engineering school, right? And And I don't know. I mean, yeah, that fucking body image, it's just like that probably just gave me a depression, because every time I would just even just going to school, it was like a hassle. I realized, oh, people may, these students will make fun of me or whatever, right? But that's kind of normal. I think that happens to everyone, pretty much when you are in early years of your school, right? Uh, it just it's just that I just feel like the world has somehow treated me like a secondhand citizen, whatever, right? And and then that just kind of made me depressed, and also the fact that I feel like I lost so many years because of 9/11, and that, and then that makes me like kind of victim. I wasn't the target of anything. Sure. But I feel like, this like, non-acceptability was still there, among people when you tell them, oh, you're from Pakistan, you're Muslim, this and that, right? Especially here in New York, maybe I should have just moved somewhere else. Regardless, at this point in time, I just have to not think about past and, just move on with life. And yeah, I mean, move on with life. And then listen, eventually, if you want to move somewhere, then just move somewhere. You like my Yankees hat, huh? All right. So without being too negative on my freaking podcast, I'm sorry, I apologize. But the facts of life. Um, and and so why did I buy a Yankees hat, huh? Oh, I see. Oh, so I played golf again. Again? I guess that's one of my hobbies. Or I don't have any other, life besides work and golf and just hanging out, right? And then talking to my wife, right? So I played golf with a friend of mine, another friend of mine, and he actually played good. Uh, he said that he played after a long time for the first time, right? And I guess because he's into other sports, badminton and all that, so that's good for him. And I think this week I'm also playing a game this weekend that my brother-in-law was texting me. Um, so that's it. I mean, uh, well, what else? I mean, I went to Poconos, I told you guys, right? But that was like last week. Oh, when was that? Was that after I did my podcast or before? I think was that after Sunday? I think no, I think I mentioned it. I mentioned it, so I'm sorry. I apologize for saying that again. Um, but this weekend, I just was a little depressed, and then it became too much depression. Towards towards the morning today, beginning of the day. And I'm like, oh my God, you know what? Maybe just I should just stay home because I don't feel like going to work and this and that, right? And yeah, I'm sorry without repeating myself. And then I called my wife, and that made me feel better. And I don't know. Life is just uh, it's life is just ups and downs. It's always not hunky dory. I understand that part. And for me, I think it's hard. It's harder when I think about my past because because of my whole fucking immigration issue, right? And I couldn't travel, blah blah blah, right? And then that just, kind of, uh, you know, made me disappointed, you know, that I was not going to get my citizenship, and then, I just whatever, So I just got to stop thinking about the fucking past and just move on. And yeah, there's always people out there who basically will treat you as whatever, right? Not equal and this and that, and then they'll judge you for what you look like, your skin color and this and that, right? And that's the fucking bullshit. Especially in this country, it's just too much. And sometimes I feel like maybe, once my wife comes here, maybe we should go somewhere else, like just live somewhere else. But then I think it's everywhere. And I'm a guy without a lot of patience. Then I'll get worked up and blah blah blah, right? And whatever. I just gotta like take a lot of deep breaths and just like, uh take it easy, take it easy, just like I'm taking it easy tonight. Although I think I just took it easy too much. Too much take it easy. Today, although we had the weekend, right? Now work has piled up, and which is fine. Which is fine, and I don't know whether. What do you don't know, sir? What are you talking about? Well, I don't know whether it's going to rain tomorrow. No, that's not what I would say. I don't know whether I want to like be here for the rest of my life, in New Jersey. I don't know. But again, all my business here, all my clients are here, so I'm basically just stuck here. Unless I hire somebody who basically run my company where I can just come and go, right? Come and go maybe once in 2 months, et cetera, et cetera, right? I don't know. I'll have to see. I mean, I'm just waiting for my wife to come here and then we'll make a decision, you know? Yeah, because the problem is that when I think about the past, right, and then I'm still here in this area, right, and then that makes me think about like, whenever I go to these places, that reminds me of the whole like whatever, oh, chasing woman or not being able to like find anyone, right, and then also like the the New York City, the crowds, the traffic, the it's like, it's especially now after COVID, it's not the same. New York is just like it has become too gritty, and people are also worked up, I think. It's not the same. And I think I had been sick and tired of like living, right? For example, I think years ago, but I just didn't make the move until 2019 to leave New York and come to New Jersey, which is a little more peaceful. Obviously this our condo area, this Port Liberté is obviously much more peaceful. However, except for that freaking Sims factory, right? But in any case, so I think I wanted to get the hell out of New York a long time ago, and I just couldn't. And then I was alone. And I'm like, okay, so if I move to the suburbs, then I'm going to look like a fucking lunatic by myself, right? I had no plans to like get married, or I didn't have a really proper relationship with somebody who was also willing to, basically get into a more serious relationship, right? All right, you get my point that I wanted to get the fuck out of New York. a long time ago, I think in the back of my mind, but then I just didn't do it. I just kept along and along and along, and that just made me more depressed, I think. Especially, you go to a pristine, Boulder area, Boulder or, Rocky Mountains, those areas, right, for vacation, and then you come back and like, oh my fucking God, what am I doing here? Why am I not living there? It's more nature and it's more peaceful, not a lot of people. The roads are newer, infrastructure is newer, wider, cleaner, and air is probably cleaner too, as opposed to here in New Jersey. It's like, oh my God. So I don't know. It's just hard for me to abandon the ship, Am I just like repeating myself? I'm sorry, I apologize. I know I am. Um, because I just fall into this like black hole of, man, you wasted so many years here. So, when you think about things that past, especially in your life, the negative things come first, right? Negative things pop up in your fucking head, they surface from the subconscious, right? First, before any positive. That's why I think the other reason. I understand, when I was young and when I was talking to my father, and he didn't basically, he didn't make the gesture to ask me, hey man, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, when I think about my relationship with him now, I always think about the negative, oh, he wasn't there for us there, or, he just went ahead and bought a freaking like 12-inch black and white TV, and we had that for like years and years, and, and in all the movies and all the shows we saw were all on this stupid like 12-inch black and white TV, right? I understand, he didn't have any money. We didn't have any money to buy even a color TV, But then, so that jealousy, that like freaking, what do you call I don't know, what is that term? Like, for example, every one of us, including our own cousins, uncles, well, not all of them, many of them were obviously poorer than us, but at least they had a color TV, right, to watch whatever movies or whatever, right? And then that was the only entertainment, besides the fucking radio, right? So I was just, you know, growing up, I mean, without again going into the fucking past, but the point I'm trying to make is that I was just sort of a rebellious kid, and and then my father didn't give me that cushion, support, especially if you are a male child, you need that whatever, if you need to get something out of your fucking chest, right? Who do you talk to? Your father or your brother? My brother was younger, so I didn't really reach out to him or whatever. I mean, now, of course, we are closer, although I still just, I still feel like this relationship that I have with my father is still kind of tense, whatever it is. And so, yeah, I feel that fucking victimhood, for myself, and that's not good. Just like who says in that Netflix show, oh, God damn it, I have to go back to that right now. Starts. Starts, I think is the name of the documentary, right? Who is what's his name's therapist, right? Uh, and I think I said that Jonah Hill, yeah. So Jonah Hill, had this body image, or people had this body image because of him being overweight, right, from the beginning of his like life. And so I feel the same way in a sense that, yeah, I was not like big or fit or one of those, right? But I was like extremely skinny, you know? So that's the hole sometimes I fall into, and then I feel like, oh shit, the fucking world has treated me as a whatever, this skinny, weird looking guy, and it's like blah blah blah, and I'm like that fucking body image, and then I have to get out of that fucking, mindset, pull myself out of that, and then, sometimes, my wife, obviously, she understands me, she understands me, but then, it's sort of like my own struggle, I have to deal with for the rest of my life. Is that what it is? And also, I like to get things done my own way. So in that sense, I'm kind of like sort of like very like peculiar, and I'm kind of like I don't know. Can you say narcissistic? I don't know. Maybe I am, but but I guess because years and years of like solitude and this and that, and like it's just has made me, I'm hoping, stronger than actually I portray on this podcast, that I'm a weak person, right? Um, yeah, I think I'm strong in many ways, but I'm also weak, and I don't want to like portray this image of myself that, oh, I came to this country to get a degree from a good school and this and that. But then, I'm a flawed person. I have personality traits which are good, and some of them are not good. I get angry, you know. And which is not good. And it's just that I need to focus more on positive things in life, I think. And that's one of the tricks, I think, for everyone. You could be anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter whether you have gazillion dollars or you could be under debt like I am. Maybe that also makes me depressed that I have to pay, this government debt for the rest of my life. But then same thing with fucking mortgage, right? Well, that I have to do regardless. So I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should just fucking rob a bank. Nah, I'm not gonna rob a bank. Yeah, just a joke. But uh, I'm thinking that maybe I should like pursue some other career where maybe I can, maybe showbiz or maybe comedy or one of those, right? But do I sound like a comedian? I don't think so, right? Yeah. Although I was telling my wife today and she was laughing. At least I put a smile on her face because I'm sorry. I love you. Um, but she was laughing at me, and and I just feel so fucking old, and again, that's I think the biggest thing for me is that I feel old because I should have done. See, this should have, would have. I wished. I had this. I had that. I could have, would have. All these should haves, right? And those are what, especially the ones that I haven't done, I should have done, right? Like, for example, the biggest, the biggest thing, and if you ask me, and the biggest thing that actually bothers me, you know what I mean, is like being in a place like New York. I understand. I mean, as much as I fucking hate the city, and as much as I fucking hate East Coast, and or not the whole East Coast, but like being here because of the weather and this and that, right? I feel like I should have like pursued some, like I should have pursued like a hobby that maybe would have turned into like, a real like it would have turned into my at least half of my work would be my hobby, right? Where I can actually earn some money as well as just like, I like doing what I want to do, right? For example, food. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen my cooking videos. The early ones, I started my YouTube channel in 2011 before Christ. Nah, I shouldn't say that. Yeah, my YouTube channel has been there for I don't know, 9 years. Well, actually, no, sorry, 12 years. 12 years, all right. 12 years. I mean, even 13 years, right? Why am I not getting paid by Google, right? YouTube. Well, I got paid for some of the videos I did, the cooking videos, right? But I should have at least, again, sorry, I should have pursued like, when I was younger, instead of just like fucking partying every fucking weekend, 'cause it's just that was the fucking black hole I was in, I think. And I also kind of blame my father in that sense as well, that he never like he here's the thing about my father, I'll say, I'm sorry, not to like duck on his back. He never questions things, right? He never criticizes things, except when he's fucking drunk or something, right? And then he gets angry, right? And I don't want to be like that. So I mean, all these years, right? All these fucking years I've been here, but he never bothered. Like he would text me like on WhatsApp and this and stay blessed and this and that, but he never questioned like hey man, how are you doing? I mean, why don't you have a girlfriend? Why don't you have a wife? Why don't you have a this? And are you happy in your life? Or what's going on? And see, that's where I think that's where I feel like he wasn't there, even like later years when he retired and all that, right? I guess because then you would say that, oh well, nobody taught him, right? He's like a typical, father from Hunza, northern Pakistan, where we come from. But then I'm like, no, he's not a typical father. He went to Glasgow before everybody else. He got his degree from like University of Toronto, whatever the fuck it is, right? So he was not a typical father. He was an extremely educated, right? Right. Am I turning my podcast into like a therapy session about my father? No. You get my point. So that kind of bothers me that, he had the most education in the whole world, but then he just couldn't like ask me as his son, hey man, what's going on when I was growing up, 11, 12, 13, right? What's going on? And, are you okay? Why you're not talking to me, huh? I don't know. I guess he was not my ideal, right? Uh, And I'm pretty sure many of you will feel like that. But then, many of you, I don't know, whoever is listening to my podcast, three of you, four of you out there, right? Whether you're in America or whether you are in Hunza or wherever Islam, wherever you are on this godforsaken planet, right? And I feel like we actually, we always have that issue. I feel at least maybe that's what I feel like that. And now, when I realize, when I realize that I just become so negative and I just become so fucking cynical, and I'm like, what kind of a father, who doesn't talk to his kids and, or his kids, at least me, whatever. But yeah, that was one of the things I think that just like fucking shaped my, later years and just like I'm like, I'm the fucking in charge and I know what the fuck I'm doing and I do this and that, right? And then the whole like I just I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want, and not like focusing on what I should have actually like focused on, right? I told you, like at least I should have pursued something with food, although it wasn't easy, like food, and like I was thinking about when I quit my job back in 2010 engineering job, right? I should have actually got into food business. I was thinking about like getting a food truck, right? Food truck, and then come up with like my own recipes after those videos I did for food, right? With food, and then I just didn't pursue it, and then I was driving a fucking yellow cab, for 2 months or 3 months, and I fucking hated it, in New York City, driving a yellow cab at night, and there was no money, and I'm like, I was just like fucking miserable. So I just feel that yes, I should have at least, I should have tried at least, okay, setting aside the food business, right? Or, having a food truck, and then maybe eventually like restaurant. I don't know. Restaurants are not easy to run. And if you don't have a good reputation of running a restaurant and your food and all that, right? It's not easy, and you fail, and then you also need a lot of capital. You need a lot of money to actually start a restaurant business, especially in a place like New York. You know, and 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 I should have actually at least forget the restaurant business. I should have actually like listened to these comedians at that time, right? I'm talking about like the 2000s, right? Instead of fucking partying every fucking week, right? Our weekend, I should have gone to these comedy clubs, and I should have tried like fucking open mics, right? Maybe that would have gotten me somewhere, right? In terms of my hobbies, right? Because there are open mics like every fucking day in New York, right? Or maybe not every day now because of after COVID, but I think there are, right? And I was living in Manhattan, or I was living in Brooklyn. It was just so easy for me to do that. But later on, when I was in my 40s, right? Yeah, I tried that, right? And then I felt like, oh my God, I'm so fucking old. I would go up there, and then half drunk, and like, and I'll be fucking angry at everyone, you know. That's what I was. Yeah, that was my fucking, thing. I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck am I saying? And so I should maybe, I should have gone up there. I mean, I told my wife today, maybe I need an audience, in addition to this freaking podcast I'm doing. Why do you need an audience, sir? I don't know. Maybe I just want to like talk shit. Maybe I'm not just like talking shit. Maybe I want to get something out of my chest. Oh, maybe you should talk to a therapist. Now, when I want to get something out of my chest means like I want to basically use, I don't know, I want to use my public speaking skill, sort of, right? Do I have that skill? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I guess, I mean, when you have a beer, one beer, sir, no more than one beer, right? And then you can go up to the stage and whatever. Aren't these freaking comedians these days basically smoking pot or whatever the fuck they're doing? Then they go up there. No, I don't think that's actually a good idea, right? Drinking and then going up to the fucking, stage and in front of people, and then you act like a fucking ass, right? Although sometimes I feel like I get better as I drink, which is actually not true. I don't think so. Um, yeah, sometimes I feel like, oh, maybe I get better at pool, right? I understand alcohol like gives you that like sort of concentration, right? Just like for example, I'm having a Corona here, right? the concentration where you don't like think about gazillion things, or your neurons are kind of like calm. That's what alcohol does, makes you calm. And and I don't know, maybe I should try, like open mics. I think I should, especially especially I think after this summer is over, after I come back, it's going to be like we are going to be into fall, right? We're going to be going into fall. And then and then I'm thinking, well, I won't be able to play golf. Well, golf, I think I played last year up until like even end of October, although it was fucking getting cold, right? So then I'll be here, obviously, hopefully with my wife. And I'm thinking, what's the other hobby I should pursue? Maybe I should just go up to the fucking open mics, right? These places, and then try that, right? Oh, well, see, that's the fucking problem. I feel just old because it's not about like I feel old in my head. It's about like if I go there, right? If I go to an open mic, right? I sign up and I go there, and then for most part, right? For most part, most of the open micers would be like in their 20s. And they'll look at me like, and I'll be looking at them like, oh my fucking God, what am I doing here? You know? Those are the aspiring, what do you call it? Aspiring comedians, aspiring successful, right? I'm just saying, that's one of my hobbies that maybe I should, if I have, time, the weekends, or let's say that one of the weekdays where I don't come home and, just get back on drawing board or on the computer, right, for work. And then maybe I should just like say, all right, man, you gotta like fucking, you know, have a balance in your life, do something different, that's actually not work. Because work is always there and you can always do work, right? So don't burn yourself with the fucking work every fucking day, well, you have to work is good, but other than that, you can't just like fucking work and work and work and work and just like, and then you are like fucking 60-year-old, right? You realize, holy shit, what the fuck did I do with my life? I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that. Is it too late? Yep. And then the other thing I should have gotten into is like acting, although I did take some acting classes. Mm. Those are okay. And then what the fuck happened was that then fucking pandemic happened, right? I kind of, yeah, well, I had basically kind of lost the interest. Although I should have actually pursued acting. See, the problem with acting, or even like being a musician. Being a musician, I couldn't do that. No, I have some songs on fucking SoundCloud, like electronic music, right? Musician, I couldn't do because I don't have any fucking skills to like play an instrument. For that, you have to basically learn how to play an instrument from the beginning of your fucking, life, right? So that I couldn't do, you because I don't have that like ability in my head, natural ability in my head to just, if I hear a tune, then I'm going to be able to play that on the freaking keyboard, right? I don't have that freaking ability, right? I can't do that. I have to watch the fucking YouTube videos, right? And that's how I came up with those like remixes of those old Indian songs and all that, right? On my SoundCloud. I don't know if you guys ever go to my SoundCloud, which is Dance Tattoo. Dance Tattoo. Tattoo was the name of my cat back in the days, right? And excuse me. And acting, yeah. But here's the thing: for acting and to be a musician, I think you have to be like good looking, and you have to have height, right? Although Tom Cruise is probably my height, right? He's probably like a little taller. But but he has the looks, you know. I don't have the looks. I mean, to be a movie star, I think you have to. Uh, and that actually makes me fucking depressed too. You know what? Okay, so well, did I have to have like a fucking whatever Brad Pitt looks or whoever else like to be a movie star? And then just that just makes me also depressed. If you think about it. There's discrimination. You know what I mean? That oh they won't cast you for anything, forget even like even pursuing that career because you have to be like really good looking for that, right? I don't know. Some of the movie stars aren't they fucking ugly? I'm not saying that I'm ugly, but what I'm saying is that I'm not a a superstar, right? But I just feel, yeah, I just feel like there's like kind of fucking discrimination, right, against us who are not like fucking Brad Pitts and fucking Harrison Fords or whatever the fuck it is, right? And sometimes I feel like maybe I should start my own following of whatever, right? Are you going to start a cult, sir? No, I'm not going to start a cult. What cult? Well, like what religion? Well, I know, forget it. Um, Yeah, I just feel like I should have pursued that, I should have pursued that. And am I still in this should have, would have? Okay, so all right, so if I start, for example, if I start like open mic right now at the age of whatever my age is, right? Then what am I going to talk about? Huh? I guess I can just go up there and talk shit like I do here. No, for like stand up, you have to have some material, right? You can't just babble up there. You can't just go up there and just like the way I'm babbling now, right? Because this is podcast. Podcast is easy. This is like my monologue, right? My life and blah blah blah, right? Uh, Generally speaking, right? But for open mic, I don't know. I have to basically have some sort of what do I want to talk about, right? Not just like tell jokes, right? I think if I become a open micer, right? If I become an open micer, means if I pursue that as a hobby, then I'll probably like talk about obviously, I'm an engineer, right? So I'm gonna talk about what? Sorry, life, dating, sex, uh, science, space travel, just life, politics. Politics is the last thing I want to fucking talk about on anything. You know what I mean? Uh, I don't know. I think I would just talk about like fucking, for example. Okay. So if I say that, okay, so what is it that, for example, I'm an engineer, I know a little bit about like why we are fucking wasting this fucking time and money on, let's say, search for extraterrestrial intelligence. The SETI project where they actually made a movie with what's her name? Judy Foster, right? Remember that fucking movie? Whatever the fuck the name of that movie is. But that's based on SETI, right? So what is SETI doing, right? For example. So SETI, as I understand, is that I think that program is still ongoing, right? Or not? What is SETI? Okay, here we go. Search for extraterrestrial intelligence is a collective term for scientific searches for intelligent extraterrestrial life, for example, monitoring electromagnetic radiation for signs of transmissions from civilization on other planets, right? And then these institutes called SETI, right? SETI Institute mourns loss of Shahzada Dawood and son aboard a Titanic submersible. Oh shit! So this guy was remember that fucking thing with the Titanic? Uh, that's extravaganza they did, right? Um, and so I might jumping from one topic to the other. Shit. No, I just got onto the website. I don't know why. I should not have because the problem is that here's the fucking problem, right? Well, in any case, so it looks like this guy was basically whoever died, right? Out of that explosion of that Titan, what of that vessel, remember? They went down to see Titanic, ruins of Titanic, right? In any case, so SETI uh, is an organization. They actually have all these radio signals receiving these fucking receiving what do you call the uh you know um radio observatories and blah 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 blah, right? And I'm thinking, all right, I get the point that you guys are looking for signal from other extraterrestrial, life form from other planets and other whatever, right? But what they don't fucking understand, right? This is probably hopefully one of my jokes. What they don't fucking understand is, I hope they do, because if they don't, and they're just wasting this fucking money and time on something that's absolutely useless, right? Which is, oh, so you're looking for a signal, right? From another planet, another civilization, right? How long do you think it's going to take for their signal to get here? Huh? How long? All right? With the speed of light, right? With the speed of light, what is the fucking planet? What's the fucking planet that's actually closest to us? That has a potential to actually have some sort of a life, right? Let's say that's in a fucking Goldilocks zone, right? Oh shit, I don't think I can actually do comedy on this topic because the people would eat me alive. It's like bombing, right? I can probably condense this because I have condensed this into like 2 minutes or 3 minutes, right? So I can just make a joke, I think. It's useless. All these fucking programs are useless if you think about it. Because it's all about the distance, right? It's all about the fucking distance. And let's say that we have a planet which is, let's say, 50 light years away, right? Or 40 light, whatever, 60 light years away, right? So then that planet, which is 60 light years away, we're going to receive a signal in 60 years when they send it, right? If they send it, if there's any fucking like life, right? Intelligent life, it's going to take 60 fucking years to get here. And how old are our instruments? 20. You know, the best instruments we have now, right? To receive that signal, 20 years old. Well, then, well, they're not going to receive anything, all right? They're not going to receive anything until like 60 years. So we're looking for a signal in what, 2080, all right? I'm just giving you an example. So this is how fucked up the whole fucking like astrophysics community, I feel, is in their own fucking minds. Even the James Webb Telescope, right? What is it doing up there? What? Like mapping the universe? For what? I understand. I understand, but do I really need to fucking know where I am in Milky Way galaxy, or do I need to know where the fuck Milky Way galaxy is in the fucking universe? I don't. I absolutely don't, because that not going to change anything. And if that James Webb Telescope is doing anything else, like what? Trying to find extra Exoplanets, not extra, sorry, exoplanets. Okay, but wait. Again, we won't be able to get there. Those exoplanets, even if they have the fucking intelligent life, all right, they're not going to get to us. We are not going to get there in our lifetime or anybody's lifetime, at least for who the fuck knows. Just imagine 300 years, 400 years. You know how much of a big time that is in terms of our lives? No, forget it. With the technology we have right now, for us to go there physically or for any other civilization to get to us physically, impossible. Fucking possible. So stop this hype about like fucking, aliens and are they here? Are they? Oh, no, they're not. We are fucking alone. As far as I know, we are fucking alone. They can't get here because of the distances and the time. All right. So I guess can I make that as a fucking joke? I don't. So that's the fucking problem, right? Nobody actually thinks about. I'm not saying that the astrophysicists and the astronomers, they're not thinking about that. I'm pretty sure they are. But what they are doing is, especially these university researchers and professors, right? Oh, they will tell you something about, oh, we just discovered a fucking exoplanet in that fucking, what do you call, in that, uh, whatever that constellation is, right? Okay, so then did I say this like many times on our podcast? I think that actually makes me like angry, to be honest with you. You know why? Because it's fucking useless. So stop searching for these fucking exoplanets. Stop it. Fucking stop it. Because or stop telling people that oh maybe the aliens are here. No, they cannot be here. There's no way these fucking aliens can come here. How stupid are that for these fucking astrophysicists? Okay, so these fucking stupid like people, right? I'm sorry. I'm not saying all people are stupid, but people will ask them like these stupid questions and then they'll answer them, right? Oh, do you think that the aliens have ever visited us? You know what an astrophysicist says? Or his answer would be, or her answer would be to that? What do you think? Oh, they would come up with some fucking convoluted answer, right? They would say, "Oh, we don't know if they have because we don't have any evidence, but we still don't. They might be here." That's the fucking most stupid, most fucking answer to that question, right? And the reason is obvious: is that no, no, no. Oh, people say all these psychedelics are like fucking like what do you call aliens, right? Or something when you take psychedelics like mushrooms or whatever the fuck it is, right? And then they make you feel like alien. Yeah, that may be a dimension that you get into in your mind when you take mushroom. However, that doesn't take you physically with your body into another fucking universe or into another fucking planet. All right? Unless maybe that's the way to go. You don't need the fucking body. You just get there through your mind, right? But then what? How? Right? So that's see, the physical universe is extremely bound. It's limited. The laws are extremely what do you call strict in a sense that you can't just say, oh, the aliens are here. No. We know we know what's the closest star system to us, Alpha Centauri, right? Which is like four or four and a half light years away, right? And if the aliens there are more advanced than us, Let's say that they came up with like fucking, half the speed of light, right? Yeah, they'll get here in 8 years, right? But if they get here in 8 years with half of speed of light, first of all, half of speed of light, that's an extremely high speed for any vessel to even fucking survive. I don't think so. Through space with the speed of light. It's only possible in fucking science fiction movies. Practically, I don't think so. Half of the speed of light. You know what that is? Speed of light is 386. What is that? 386,000 meters per second. 386,000 meters per second. There's 300. Is that kilometer or meters per second? Sorry. So 300 speed of light. What is speed of light? So speed of light is about 300. Oh, wait. Speed of light. Speed of light is about 300,000 kilometers per second. Not meters, sir. What the hell am I talking? 300,000 kilometers. 300,000 kilometers. Right? So, so just imagine like traveling with half of that speed. That will fucking like blow your, I think if you are traveling with a human body or another fucking alien body, which is a physical body, right? That's gonna fucking tear you apart, I think. Tear you apart, right? So it's impossible. I think it's physically impossible to even travel, except for the photons and lights, right? So So I think what we are doing is we are basically wasting our time. All these fucking programs. They're trying to find alien life, or alien planets, are they who are looking for these signals from these alien fucking, species from other stars or something. That's just a fucking waste of time. We shouldn't be doing that. We are not capable of even receiving or sending any signals. Right? So that's the point I'm trying to make is that I think what NASA is doing with James Webb and all these other fucking agencies, they're trying to like, give me a fucking break. All right? You're wasting your fucking time. All right? You're wasting your fucking time in the sense that, again, without repeating myself, we have huge distances. All right? I was actually reading an article on BBC today about Fermi paradox. What the fuck, Fermi paradox? Are you fucking kidding me? We know that by fucking statistics, we know that there may be, very well, other civilizations out there. But why don't these fucking Fermi paradox, fucking astrophysicists talk about the distance we have? We can't communicate 100 light years away with some fucking species on some godforsaken planet. All right? You can't. There's no fucking way. All right? So that's the fucking bullshit answers these astrophysicists. All right? Except for maybe Neil deGrasse Tyson. I don't think he's a bullshitter. But I feel like I feel like we are fucking wasting our time in searching for extraterrestrial intelligence. Right? How? What? What? Is that a fucking joke? Or is that science fiction? Sounds like fucking science fiction to me. Jesus Christ. Uh, so in any case, already 1 hour, and I'm gonna close my podcast, everyone. I think I ranted enough about the astrophysics and what the hell we are doing. It's like a joke. To me, it's like a joke. to be honest with you. And I hope you all are having a great start of the week. I'm sorry, I was a little depressed in the morning, Well, I was in a hole, my own freaking black hole of other fucking universe, right? But in any case, so I I presume you all had a great weekend, and I'll talk to you all next weekend or Monday.